So full range of motion or partial range of motion, which one is better for your training? Well, it really depends on what your goal is. So if you saw my previous video on my biceps tendonitis, this is the day following that training. What I'm really focusing on here is a partial range of motion, because I know from the day before there was a range of motion that was painful for me, but I could still get input into my pulling muscles, biceps, lats, scapular retractors, in a limited range of motion without irritating my symptoms. So today I was really testing how much range of motion can I get, right? And there are some instances where even outside of an injury, partial range of motion can be really helpful, especially if you're training for hypertrophy or trying to get an end range of motion. So especially when the muscle that you're working is at the end of that range of motion on stretch, if you can get partial ranges of motions at that end range, it has a really good hypertrophy, so muscle growth stimulus, and it can help train the strength in that range of motion. Here, I was using it for just to be able to train with an injury. And you can see at the end of that one, I was able to get full range just after 1 day of doing rehab for it. So very minimal biceps tendonitis, but it can become chronic if you don't train properly. Now, dips, again, I love dips. Here, I'm doing full range of motion for a couple reasons. One is because I want to make sure that my shoulders and my elbows can progressively handle loads at my end range and push me all the way up through that full range of motion. Now, if I had trouble at those end ranges, I would hang out in the end ranges and really train maybe some partial range of motion just to get that more input. But I have pretty good range of motion, and I will develop better strength in a full range of motion than I will with partial ranges of motion. So it really depends on what your goal is. If your goal is to build strength and really improve your overall movement, full range of motion is going to be really, really important. However, if there are specific ranges of motion that you want to train, or if you're just in it for a hypertrophy stimulus, partial ranges of motion can help you. And so finally here, I have a sissy squat, which I really love doing because my knees can handle all of that load at the end and then push up and through. Normally, I would recommend people do more of a compound movement, but I prefer to isolate my quads at home because my Kung Fu training does so much with stances and compound higher rep exercises for glutes, quads, and hamstrings and calves all together. So here I like to make sure my knees stay healthy in that range of motion. So that's just a quick video on full range of motion versus partial range of motion, the uses of both, benefits, disadvantages. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and thanks for watching.